Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallim ala rasulil kareem. Okay, this is chapter 11 is a slight continuation. We've covered some of this already, but this is a little bit in more detail. People say that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now he's passed away, he can't help or benefit us at all. Okay. Now we've seen from previous chapters that's not true, but there's more evidence I wish to present. Some of it's repeated because the chapters we're trying to make them stand alone. So the answer to this is his help is not restricted to his life and his passing away. Okay, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is a messenger of Allah. His prophethood continues. It hasn't ended. It'll never end. It started at his creation, and that's it. It's never going to stop. Okay, it takes different forms. That's true. And there's a very famous verse of the Holy Qur'an where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا لِيُطَاعَ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. We didn't send the messenger except to be obeyed with permission of Allah. وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ إِذْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ جَاءُوكَ. If they were to commit sin, alright, so those who commit sin, Allah's giving them a way of seeking forgiveness. So those who commit sin, وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ إِذْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ جَاءُوكَ, they should go to you, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when they go to you, فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا, they should ask forgiveness from Allah. And then وَاسْتَغْفَرَ لَهُمُ الرَّسُولُ, and the messenger will also ask forgiveness. لَوَجَدُوا اللَّهَ تَوَّابًا رَحِيمًا, and you will find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala most forgiving and most merciful. So one of the best ways to seek forgiveness after making a mistake is to go to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the Holy Qur'an, alright? Allah is saying this is a way to get forgiveness. You know, people say, oh yeah, you have to ask Allah, there should be no intermediary, you should go straight to Allah. Well, hang on, Allah is saying you should go straight to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, alright? They should go they should go to you, and there they should ask forgiveness from Allah. Fastaghfirullah. Why? Because you are in front of the greatest of creation. You are using him as a means to get forgiveness. You're using the blessing he permeates, he sends out, the radiance he sends out. You're being immersed in that, and while you're being immersed in his blessed presence, you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. And because he loves his ummah, he will ask forgiveness for you as well. And that is a dua irresistible to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of your presence in front of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the fact that you are asking, and the fact that he is an asking. And Allah is saying that's, you'll find Allah most forgiving, most merciful at that opportunity, at that position. Allah could have said, you can't go to anybody, like people are saying. I'm sorry, Allah doesn't agree with you. I'm so sorry. But Allah's saying something slightly different. Okay? Allah's saying, no, you should go. They should go to you. Not only they should go to you, while they're there, they should ask forgiveness, and then you'll find the Prophet himself will ask forgiveness. Okay? So the Quran shows a number of things. This verse is not just confined to while the Prophet ﷺ was alive and walking around like we are walking around. No, prophethood is not finished. There's no restriction on this verse. So we can put Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, we can go to him in Medina Sharif or spiritually. There's no restriction. And while in his presence, blessed presence, we ask Allah, and Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he asked forgiveness. And then Allah says, لَوَجَدُوا اللَّهَ تَوَّابًا رَحِيمًا, you'll find Allah so forgiving and so merciful. Now, there is a tafsir of this, okay, which I've put in another chapter, whereby one companion goes to the grave of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, this Ibn Kathir. He goes to his blessed grave and he quotes his verse. He goes, "That's why I'm here. Please make dua for me." And then he leaves. There's a companion, Hazrat Utbi. This person is not named, this person who comes. He's just known as a Bedouin. Hazrat Utbi radiallahu ta'ala, he's sitting by the Prophet's grave sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's just sitting there with taking comfort, taking scoon, and he falls asleep. He listens to everything this Bedouin says, and he falls asleep after the Bedouin goes. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam comes in Hazrat Utbi's dream, and he says, "Go and find this person. Tell him I've listened to him, I've heard him, I've made dua, and he's forgiven." SubhanAllah. Alright, Ibn Kathir mentions that. Everybody except Ibn Kathir, even the non-Sunnis, except maybe this particular part of Ibn Kathir. So he quoted this verse. The Prophet ﷺ never said, "Oh, you're not allowed to do that." I'm sorry, nowhere has he said that. No companion said that. No respectful mufassir or muhaddith or alim has said that. Alright? Allah is saying, and if you are spiritually able, you don't even need to go to Medina al-Munawwara. Right? Let's look at this verse in the Holy Qur'an. النبي أولى بالمؤمنين من أنفسهم. The Prophet is extremely close to the believers. How close? Closer than even their own souls. I think we covered this verse before. Alright? So therefore, if he's close to us, then, and we sense that presence and we have that position, we can then be in the spiritual presence of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and ask Allah for forgiveness, and he'll ask Allah for forgiveness. Okay? However, I don't think many people have reached that position. So we might have to end up going Medina al-Munawwara. Because you have to link the verses together. They're not lying, they're not misleading us. Okay? I can't say it's wrong also to make dua to Allah, feeling that Prophet Muhammad is so close to us, we're in his presence, and quote this verse as well. I don't think that's wrong. إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. Your friends and helpers are who? Allah wa Rasuluhu, and His Messenger, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, and those who believe. So, who are your friends? Allah, His Messenger, and those who believe. Now what do friends do? They help you. Are we saying Allah helps us? The answer is yes. Are we saying people who believe help us? The answer is yes. So are we saying the Prophet helps us? How can the answer be no? If this whole concept of this verse is who are your friends? Who are your helpers? Yeah, Allah is helping us, the believers are helping us, we can understand that. Oh, the Prophet can't help us. Why is Allah saying this then? Is this verse only confined to a few Sahaba Ikram and that's it? No, He's still our messenger. This verse applies to all of us. The verse above, النبي أولى بالمؤمنين. The Prophet is close to the believers. Alright, all the believers. Even though yet to come, He's close. Allah's made it so. He hasn't said Sahaba Ikram here. He said believers. Alright? And similarly, He's your friend. He's our friend. He helps us. Like Allah helps us. He helps us. Like the believers help us. And again, this is not just confined to dunya. This is also barzakh. The believers in barzakh, the awliya ikram. There's no restriction. And we can continue this in chapter 21, which goes into even more detail. There's a collection, and there's a particular hadith and a particular collection where the Prophet says, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Hayati khayrul lakum, that my life is good for you because you talk to me and I talk to you. And he also said, Wa wafati khayrul lakum, but my passing away is good for you. Why? Your actions are shown to me in barzakh, if I like what I see, hamidullah, praise Allah. If I see some issues, I will ask forgiveness for you. Look at that. My life is good for you, and my passing away is good for you. So his prophethood is continuing. He's receiving deeds. How many Muslims are there? 1.5 billion Muslims. He's receiving 1.5 billion deeds. Maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. Work it out. How many deeds he's receiving per second? It's a huge amount. But he's receiving them. And he knows us. If he's receiving deeds, he knows us. He knows our names. He knows what we're up to. He knows our good deeds, our bad deeds. And he's praying for us. A person who's dead and finished can't do that. The person who's passed away but is still alive, that's what he's doing.
So does that include non-Muslims?
The Prophet ﷺ is talking to Muslims, believers. Once you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu, once you say that, then automatically you become the ummah in the ummah of Rasulullah, and he's talking about his ummah.
And are the actions presented as they happen, or as a collection?
I think it's a weekly event. It's a formidable, it's a huge event. You know, to just say it in a sentence like I've said it actually belittles it. But it's an official presentation. And everybody's deeds are presented.
So we just this cultural thing where we do Khatm al-Sharif on a Thursday, just before Maghrib or whatever.
It's all presented. It's all presented.
That's when it's presented.
Yeah, Thursday night. But I mean, work it out. 1.5 billion. I can work it out on my calculator. 1.5 billion deeds weekly. All right. Say even if you saw them for a whole week, work it out. It's absolutely massive, and it's continuous. So that's what I'm saying. His prophethood is continuing. It hasn't stopped. And Nabi Awla bil Mu'mineen, the Prophet is extremely close to the believers. This is part of being close, knowing our deeds, wanting us to be successful. He hasn't abandoned us. In fact, his position in Barzakh is he's clarified it for us to say, I haven't left you. Allah says he's close to you, even closer than your own soul. Does your soul know what's going on in your life?
To be clear about this.
So the answer is yes before you carry on. Alright? So he's closer than that.
So you told us in the past that the way I picture in my head now is that imagine you've got the Prophet ﷺ said, I've got this earth in my hand, which means that imagine that the Prophet ﷺ is in a corner of a room and he's able to see everything that happens in that room.
Yeah, if you assume the room's a universe and he's in the corner, he can see everything that's going on. Right?
The deeds that are being presented are ones that have already been witnessed by the Prophet ﷺ. This is the second, almost like a presentation.
It's an official presentation. It's like Allah knows who's going to Jannah and Jahannam, but the official judgment has to still happen.
Right.
Yeah, we know who's won the prize at the office.
Yeah.
But you have to have a ceremony presenting it, isn't it?
Weekly presentation.
Yeah. We know who's graduated from the university because you get your letter, isn't it? But there's an official graduation ceremony. And just to prove that people used to do this, the companions used to go to his blessed grave and get help. Imam Darmi rahmatullah alayhi. Remember, Imam Darmi is a teacher of the Muhaddithin. He's a teacher of a number of the Sahih Sitta. I think Imam Abu Dawud and Ibn Majah, I believe he's one of the teachers. And Hadith number 92, there was a severe famine, and they went to Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha, and she said, go to Qabrun Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Go to the grave of the Prophet ﷺ, right? And she said, open a window in the direction of the sky so that there's nothing between his blessed grave and the sky. Right? And just when they did that, it started to rain. And it rained so much. Now we beginning to realize what that's like. Okay, when we experience a couple of months of little rain, all right. But imagine months and months of no rain. Okay, we're just used to rain in this country, and we know it's going to rain eventually, right? But here, there's famine, the crops are dying, irrigation. It's very difficult. But there was so much rain. Even the camels were growing fat. This is how they described it. So much, they're growing so fat, it's like they would burst. That's what. I mean, you might know people like that. Right? So, they say that the place where the wind is open is still there, the hatch is still there, in the same place on the dome. You've seen the hatch? I've heard that that's the same position as when people open, because that dome wasn't there, but that's in the same position. So Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha advising the companions, this is what you do, right? Go to the grave of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they did. No one objected. All the companions did, and these are companions radiallahu ta'ala anhum. So it is not new seeking help from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's not new seeking help from his blessed grave. And you also find in the Al-Adab al-Mufrad, I think we've gone through this, which is a book by Imam Bukhari, when someone had cramp, Hazrat Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala an, he had cramp, and someone said, remember the person you love the most, and he said, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his cramp went. I suggest you try it. It does work. It's amazing. Okay, and this is after he passed away. And who wrote Al-Adab al-Mufrad? Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi. And again we've read this hadith, ما من أحد يسلم عليه إلا رد الله عليه روحي حتى أرد عليه السلام. Whoever says salam to me, Allah returns my soul to me until I return the salam back to that person. It's Abu Dawood, and it's a Hasan hadith. Right? So the question is he benefiting us? The answer is definitely, hugely, he's benefiting us. Imam Bukhari, من رآني في المنام فقد رآني and من رآني فقد رأى الحق. Whoever sees me in a dream has definitely seen me, the Prophet said sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in this hadith, whoever sees me in a dream has seen the truth, has definitely seen me. Alright? He says it's al-haq, definitely seen me. Iblis can't take my form. So if you believe it's the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's definitely the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, a dead person can't come and see you in your dream. And if he comes to see you in your dream, it's not just to have a gupshup, na'udhu billah, it's to guide you. I'll give you an example. Someone saw the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with a slightly shorter beard, and they couldn't work out, why have I seen? They first asked, is it the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Because he should have had a long beard. And I said, yes it is, because he said, if you've seen me, it's definitely me. Then why have I seen him with a short beard? I said, because you are not, there's a certain sunnah that you're not fulfilling that's important for you, and that's what he's advising you. In other words, your beard should be long, but he's not advising you about your beard, he's advising you about another thing in your life you're not fulfilling, a sunnah you're not fulfilling. Another person saw a dream whereby he was sitting praying and the Prophet was standing up praying, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he was following he was sitting down, the Prophet was standing up. What does that mean? It means you're not following him properly. You think you are, by the fact you're praying, he's praying, but he's standing up, you're sitting down. And that's actually a very serious dream. But he came, it's a long story there, but he actually came to advise him. Look, you know what, you think you're following me, but actually you're not following me properly. Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala, his mother passed away, Hazrat Fatima, it's not the Hazrat Fatima, Prophet's daughter. This is Hazrat Ali's mother, was actually called Hazrat Fatima. She passed away. He went in her grave and he asked for forgiveness. Forgive my mother Fatima, the daughter of Asad, and grant her ease at her entryway. And then he says, بِحَقِّ نَبِيِّكَ, with the haqq of your prophet, وَالْأَنْبِيَاء الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِي, and the Anbiya Ikram who came before me, and you are the most merciful of all those who show mercy. In other words, he asked in the grave with بِحَقِّ نَبِيِّكَ, with the haqq of your prophet, and Anbiya, and all the other prophets. So to invoke the names of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and all the other prophets as part of your dua is the sunnah of the companions. This is the Imam Tabrani rahmatullah alayhi. So people who have gone through extreme difficulties at the time of the companions radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, they invoked the Prophet ﷺ's name, they invoked him in their dua, and they invoked him at the grave, and even they did actions at the grave which gave them solutions. Alright? Because where his blessed body is resting, how, I don't know, okay? He's not being consumed, he's alive, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he's still benefiting the ummah, individually and collectively. And this has all been proven from these Quranic verses and these ahadith. There's also hadith in Darmi rahmatullah alayhi, when there was fitna in the ummah and the Masjid Nabi was closed for 3 days. One of the, I think, companions pretended he was mad, so they left him alone, the soldiers, and he knew it was time for prayer because he heard adhan coming from the grave of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's in Imam Darmi as well. Hazrat Sayyid bin Abdul Aziz radiyallahu ta'ala, during the events of Harra, there was no adhan in the Prophet's mosque for 3 days, no iqama, and Sayyid bin al-Musayyib radiyallahu ta'ala did not leave the mosque. He would know the time of prayer. He heard adhan from the grave of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? And that is in Darmi and it's a Hasan hadith. You also find this hadith in the Sirah Ibn Kathir as well. آخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.